Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Primalista Panel Interview. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this. It's a bit exciting because I know quite a lot of people who are considering joining Primal Alternative want to talk to a real life Primalista about what it's like, on the tools and at the market stalls and at all the events. What's it actually really like? So today we are joined by Terri Allen. I have to check out what your real name was then, Terri, because I always call you Tegs. There's Tegs Tegster up there. Currently in Adelaide, originally or is normally based in Victoria. And then we've got Rosie Mason from Yokind in WA. I'm going to get all of the Primalistas to introduce themselves a little bit in a moment after this brief intro. And also Gita. Now, our gorgeous Gita has just come back from India. She went over for a family member's wedding. And I know she was having a little siesta earlier today. And I hope she's remembered to wake up. So come on, Gita. Wake up, Gita. We're ready for you now. So I'm just going to go into a little bit of an intro before we launch into the panel interview. So a bit about me. I'm the Primal Alternative founder. I'm a mum and I live in WA. I'm a primal health coach and founder. And I've been in the health and the business industry for ages. And I have created a whole food business license, of which I've sold over 125 licenses worldwide. I'm a podcaster on the Wellness Couch, and we are so stoked to collaborate with Pete Evans and Quirky Cooking, which we are kind of like the king and queen of the whole food, grain-free, paleo, primal, low-carb world, right? So this event is for you if you have got a passion for clean living, if you love creating and baking, you want to make a difference, you've got a desire to work from home and live life on your own terms, and you're willing to put the effort into your business. This event is not for you if you're not looking for a business opportunity, you're really happy in your current job and you don't want to change. You know exactly what to do to start your own business, but you just haven't done it yet. Or you're a trailblazer and you want to figure it all out for your own self. So we're really hoping that you are looking for like-minded people who want to work from home, who want to help others transform their lives, serve a growing niche, work a small number of hours in your kitchen a week, and are looking for the systems to make those desires possible. So, as promised in the email and the lead up to this event, there is going to be a big reveal and a cool discount price today. So I'll go into that after we've gone through the interview. There's also going to be over $900 worth of bonuses for anybody who decides to join Primal Alternative as a result of this event, and a door prize too. So it's going to be so much fun. So let's meet the Primalistas. So what I'm going to do now is very carefully unmute, hopefully, Terri, if I can unmute you, and unmute you, Rosie. All right. So I don't know where Gita is. So, I'm sure she's going to come. Right, now I can do this thing where I can stop sharing the screen. I think is the best thing to do. Ooh, there we go. All right, that's better. And then if I go into a gallery view, I can spotlight someone. How do I do that? Hang on, just bear with me, won't you? How do I spotlight you? I can't work it out. There's Gita. Hello. Hello. Yay. We were just thinking that you maybe didn't wake up from your nap.
No, I hadn't unmuted.
Can anybody else hear anybody else?
Hello?
Can anybody hear anybody?
I can hear you guys.
I can hear everyone.
Can you, Terri, can you hear anybody else talking, or is it just me that can't hear anybody else talking?
I can hear Gita. I can hear Rosie.
I can hear everyone.
Yep, I can hear everyone.
Yeah, I can hear everyone.
I can only hear nobody. I can hear everyone. Why can't I? Okay.
And Whitby says she can hear everyone.
Now I can.
Have you unmute? Yes.
I'm good. I'm back. I'm back in the game. All right. Thanks for that. All right. Let's go into speaker view. Right. So Gita is on my screen now. So I would love to start with you, Gita, and I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your story of why you got into clean living and why you joined Primal Alternative. Start us off.
Okay, so about 6 years back, I discovered paleo lifestyle because I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, and through my naturopath, at that point I didn't realize it was a paleo lifestyle, but it was, and I saw a huge difference in my energy, my just overall health, and mainly my thyroid antibodies improved quite a bit, and I had to reduce the dose of my medication. And since then, I've been following the paleo lifestyle. And the main thing is, of course, as we all know who've gone the grain-free way, it's very hard to find something convenient when you're working full-time and you've got kids. Of course, my kids were younger at that time. You just don't have the time to prepare everything from scratch. I mean, I did, but it was a big struggle to find the time. And I always wanted to do something related with whole foods in the paleo sphere. So yeah, that's how I stumbled across Primal Alternative. One day I was scrolling through my Instagram feed and up popped Helen Marshall, and I checked out her website immediately, and I just loved the concept, and I called her from my car driving to a meeting. So yeah, and the rest is history. I'm still here. That was 2 years back, not 6 years back. That was 2 years back. And I joined up immediately, and I'm still here, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Gita. And if we could hear from Terri, that would be awesome. Tell us your story of how you got into this way of life and how you joined Primal Alternative.
Yeah, I when I turned 50, actually 5 years ago, I started to look at I suppose healthier ways of living and different foods, and a friend introduced me to the paleo way, I guess, and that was when Pete Evans and the paleo way were really taking off. And I was also shown some Christine Cronell videos on low carb, high fat. I'm a scientist and I work in diabetes and complications. And so to be shown these things that were a bit very left of field, I have to say, 5 years ago, was pretty shocking. And thought of, not eating grains and eating low carb and healthy fat and all that sort of thing. So that helped me lose some weight and feel fitter and healthier. I sort of went more the primal route, so I still sort of kept eating dairy and Mark Sisson and all that. So, and then my job started to cut back in hours a bit, and I have been looking for something to do as far as a small business. I thought about coffee carts and things like that. And I was a member of Quirky Cooking. I've been to a couple of demos by Jo Whitten and have her cookbooks, of course. And then a newsletter came up from Jo Whitten about Primal Alternative and about Helen. And it was all quite quick, actually. I sort of thought, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. And I booked an interview, and then I think I joined up quite quickly, and that was March last year. So haven't been with Helen as long as Gita, but I guess relatively long time. And so been loving it. It's been fitting in well with my lifestyle, and I'll probably talk a bit more about that in a moment. But that's how I sort of got into this style of living and eating.
Awesome. Thank you, Tegs. And let's go over to Rosie in WA. I feel like one of those people in a newsroom. And now we're going to Rosie in WA. Tell just down the road, just 6 hours up the road. Tell us your story, please.
Hi, everybody. So in late 2012, I read a book, which was essentially about the paleo diet, which was all very new to me. I was very much a staunch follower of, low fat, the low fat lifestyle and the cardio exercise. So it was quite new to me, but I was in a place where my health was not amazing. It wasn't terrible, but I was about 30, I think, at the time. So from that book, I started to be really interested in it. I started to make some small changes in my life. But it wasn't soon enough. And sort of in late 2013, I sort of had a big health crash, and I guess I went through adrenal exhaustion. So from then on, I made a lot of changes to my diet. And slowly I started to get better. So I started, incorporating more healthy fat and cutting way back on cardio exercise. Essentially stopped cardio exercise altogether because I basically couldn't get out of bed. I eventually got healthy enough in sort of late 2015 to get pregnant. And then it was when I was on maternity leave. I think my little boy was about maybe 8 months old or so. He was less than a year old. When the opportunity for Primal Alternative came up, I had basically made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to go back to my old job. I had really recognised it as a source of draining my energy, really not just not being the best for my health. I wanted to make a clean break, but I really didn't have a plan. Like I sort of had a plan. I was doing some other studying, but it was, I was doing a postgrad degree, but I was still well off finishing that. So the Primal Alternative opportunity came up, and straight away I knew it was for me. I knew that I loved baking. I knew that I loved the healthy lifestyle. I knew that, I love working from home. I wanted to help people. It just seemed to fit perfectly with where I was and where I wanted to go. I basically jumped right in straight away. Put all the rest of my savings. I've been living off my savings for 2 years, and I put everything that I had left into it. And then I just really had to make it work, and I really put all my energy into making it work. And I've loved every second of it so far. That was close to 2 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. That's gone fast, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, yes.
In some ways.
It's not even quite 2 years, really, I don't think.
Yeah, it was December, wasn't it? In a couple of months, I think you'll be having
like November, December, yeah.
Your Primiversary. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Rosie. And thanks everybody for that intro. And I've got a couple more questions, and then it's going to be over to the people at the interview to fire questions away. But if there are any questions that you're wanting to ask as the Primalistas are talking, then just put them in the chat group. So if everyone could just check out the chat groups. If you look, it's either on the bottom tab or the top tab of your I need a technical person to do all the moving around. If you go to the bottom of your screen or the top of the screen, there's like a 3 dots, like a chat bubble. If you click on that, then you'll get to the chat group, and just any questions that you've got as people are talking, just put them in there, and I'll fire the questions to the Primalistas as we go along, but we'll also just open up the chat as well after I've asked my final 2 questions. So we'll go back to the lovely Gita in Sydney, and I can see Gita just come back from a wedding in India, and I saw all your beautiful henna on your hands. You've really been to India.
I have.
How was the wedding?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was really good. Everything went off well. 3 days of celebrations and dancing and food.
Oh, wow.
Just good.
It was incredible. I bet it was incredible. So if you could help us out with the next question. Gita, can you please describe how Primal Alternative fits into your life? So I'd love to know things like around how many days you bake, what kind of stockists you have, how many online shop orders you get, that kind of thing would be awesome.
Sure. So when I started, I was working full time. I'm in education. I'm an advisor for special education. And it was quite a hectic job and I was full time. But I still managed. I started off with one stockist who I had spoken to even before I signed up. And I said, if they were interested, they were. So that's actually, I signed up based on that. And I was happy with one stockist for 1 year because I was working full time. So I would just bake on Friday night and supply the stockist on a Saturday morning. Then once the online shop opened, that's where, so I didn't try for any direct customers till then. And I was also baking for the online shop orders. And this year, since February, I've gone part-time. So I work 3 days at the schools, and then 2 days I do, even out of the 2 days, I bake 1 day. So I do the stockist, and the online orders online shop has really taken off, keeps me really busy. And so between this one stockist, a few direct customers and the online shop, I bake for 1 day at the most. Friday, the whole day goes in baking. Sometimes maybe Sunday evenings to bake for the online orders for posting on Monday. But other than that, mainly it's Friday. And I would say the percentage, wholesale. So online shop is wholesale to retail customers is about 75 to 80 wholesale, 20 to 25 retail. And the online shop, I can't keep up. It keeps me busy. The last month, my turnover from the online shop itself was $2,000, which was huge. But yeah, that's my baking time.
Awesome. Thank you, Gita. And I wonder if you could just answer a question that's just come in from Anne, who said, do I need more than one oven, or do I need a large kitchen?
No, you don't need more than, I've got a small oven. I've got just one oven, a small one, which is just 600 mil wide with 3 shelves. And you don't need a big oven and not a large kitchen. Most councils want you to have a double sink. That's about it. And a dedicated shelf for your ingredients. Other than that, no, you don't need a large kitchen.
Awesome. Thanks, Gita. And well, let's go over to Tegs again in South Australia, who's just come from doing a cave dive and discovered a brand new cave today, which they have videoed, and that's just like so exciting. I love Tegs's life. It's so varied and diverse and fun. So tell us a bit about how Primal Alternative fits into your incredible life. Oh, hang on, you're muted. Hang on, pause. Let me unmute you. How did that happen? Quick, unmute Tegs. There we go. There. Are you good?
All good?
Yes.
Yep.
Go.
Okay. Right, so currently I work 2 days a week as a scientist. I also work as a lollipop lady, mornings and afternoons. And I do a little bit of teaching. But I'm a little bit different to Gita. Well, I'm similar, but I'm also different. So I have my stockists are markets. So I love my farmers markets. I find them really fun, great interaction with people. I sell obviously at retail. And so although they're a fair bit of work as far as hours and everything goes, I do enjoy them. So in a typical week, when I have 1 or 2 markets, I would probably bake over, say, 2, but I think things like cooking a bit of a better shelf life, and then I'll add in the other breads of the Thursday and the Friday. So I'm maybe a little bit different to some people in that I sort of have quite a lot of time, and so I kind of spread my load, so I'm not feeling like it's an overload. And then the markets, of course, are 4 hours or so in the mornings, and so I drive there, set up and sell. I started off with 1 market, and then I went to 2, so I had 1 sort of each fortnight, and then I added another one in because I thought, well, if I've lost 1 day of a weekend, I might as well do the whole weekend. And I've actually just today found out I've got a brand new market, so I now have 4 markets. So I have 1 or 2 very small stockists, but next year when I finish my current job, I'm going to ramp that up and find some more stockists, which will probably be cafes and health food stores. And I also have the online store like Gita, although, wow, I don't get $2,000 worth. That's very, very impressive. But I was pretty happy. I think last month I did about $800 or $1,000. So which was fantastic. So when, as I say, when Pete Evans sneezes and produces a wonderful Instagram or Facebook post, the world listens and hears, and we all get fantastic orders from that. Well, particularly Gita, but yeah, all of us. So for me, and the great thing I like about Primal Alternative is we don't have set numbers of things to bake. We don't have, we can do our own thing. You can choose your stockers, you can choose how much you want to do. And even the markets, if I'm a bit tired, I'll just make X number of breads and I sell them, and that's all good. I don't have to think, I've got to sell 50 loaves of bread or anything like that. I also only have a fairly small kitchen. I use the dining room table a little bit to bag up and things. I've just got a standard oven. The recipes are very simple. I'm a scientist. I like measure, mix and bake. I like exact numbers. Helen's developed great recipes that are very easy. I'm not a baker, really. I'm not an artist. I just follow the numbers. I do what's written down and it works. And for me, that's fabulous. And they don't take very long to bake either. Most of the breads, about half an hour or so. So you can quickly rotate through, baking, continuous baking. I have solar panels on my roof, so that helps with the oven. But, it's very easy, I find, to fit in with my lifestyle, which I also like going diving and holidays and all that sort of fun. So I can say, okay, I'm going away, and I just tell people I'm away. I also do have a lot of local people. So because I'm into low carb and I have a lot of keto customers, which are very low carb people, so a lot of them will order from me and I go out and deliver locally to them. I'm in inner Melbourne, so I do have a lot of people obviously living around me, so I'm very lucky like that. Then, yeah, so that's kind of a typical week for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Tegs. Now, Anne was just asking, as we were talking about the online shop figures, and those figures, that is just online shop sales, not like total figures.
Yes,
right? But right. The figures that we've been talking about, Anne was asking, is that profit or is that just actual gross sales?
That's our gross sales. Yeah. So. And that's just the online store. So obviously that's on top of, our regular customers and markets and etc. So the online store is very easy because it's all run by Primal Alternative. The orders pop up and we elect whoever's the closest usually takes the order. But no, the money we're talking about is we get the wholesale rate, and that's our taking. So obviously we're not including the costs in that. But for me, it's probably only if it's a busy month, it might be a quarter of my whole takings. So obviously I've got the markets and local customers and everything as well. And we also do events. So Gita's done a number of events, as I have, and I think Rosie has as well. So we get very nice takings from the events as well. Like I'm going to, this Tuesday, I'm doing a gut health and stress event. So I'm going to bake for that.
Awesome. And there's some great questions coming through now. So keep them coming, because it's great because your questions are much more exciting than my questions. So keep them coming. And I'm going to ask some of these questions to Rosie as well. So Rosie, before you tell us a little bit about how Primal Alternative fits into your week, I'd love to know, are Primalistas free to promote their business, or are you restricted by area?
We can promote our business as much or as little as we want to. There's not really any restrictions on promoting. We can, there's no territories, if that's what you mean. So we can, apply it stockist, as long as it's not already somebody else's stockist or not already somebody's stockist that they're trying to, or they're planning to approach. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
By restricted by area?
A territory-based question, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. So tell us a bit about how Primal Alternative fits into your week, because I know you are a market girl as well.
Yes, I am a market and a stockist girl. This is essentially my full-time job. So I work 1 day a week in my other career. I did end up going back. So I work 1 day a week in that, and I also do a little bit of consultancy work online for that job as well. So that's another couple of hours in the week. That's my other job as a pharmacist. And then, but I don't really count that to be my main career. This is definitely my full-time job. I bake for about 3.5 to 4 days a week. I do 1 to 2 markets a week. I always do a Saturday market, and then every second week I do a Sunday market. Then I bake 1 to 2 days for the markets, and probably about 1.5 days for my stockists. It takes me usually all one day and usually half of Sunday afternoon to do all my stockist stuff. That includes all my prep and up to packaging and bagging, and I slice for my stockists mostly as well. So all that takes about me a day and a half, and that's so I have 11 stockists, 11 active stockists, and 1 inactive. Wow. So I'm doing my stockists around usually probably 60 to 100 loaves a week, depending on the week, and then plus pizzas and cookies and the other things that they want, pastry and wraps. And then for my markets, I probably do, if I just have one market, I probably bake 25 loaves and a few batches of cookies and a batch of pizzas and a batch of wraps for those. That's for one market. And then if I do 2 markets, it's a bit more than that. And then I spend one morning delivering. So my week is pretty full, actually. So with my other job and plus delivering, and then I also find time to, make sure my stock isn't running out and placing my orders with my to get my ingredients and bags. So I do have to be quite organised. I also have a toddler, so my time is sort of quite limited by that as well. But I do find that it is really good because I can start work whenever I want to. I tend to get up quite early, but I can take my toddler for a walk. There's no rush to get back unless I'm feeling particularly stressed, which I try to not to. I guess with working at home, there is those unpredictable things like power failures and broken ovens, broken mixers. We actually had a power outage at my house on Friday, and so I had no power and that's when I normally bake for my my market, my Saturday market. But yeah, I had no power till 12:30, and I would normally start work at 7:30 in the morning. But you just deal with it. You get on with it. I got on with it, and at 12:30, I had a nice morning, relaxing. I think I'm getting a bit off track here, but I think you get the idea. You just deal with it. I still got everything done. It was fine. You just deal with the things as they arrive. What else?
Well, we've got a question here. That's awesome. Everything you said, so awesome, and just such a great insight to everything. That's perfect, Rosie. So we've got a question in here about markets that's come in from Sally, who says, "How large is your car? Do I need a trailer?" What would you say to that?
So no, definitely not. I have a hatchback. I think a hatchback is really good if you're going to do markets. It's just a small car. It's, and I fit everything in. I've got quite a bit of stuff for my markets, 2 tables, all my stock, my gazebo, my signs, my awning for my gazebo, and I can lift it all myself. And especially when I started, I wasn't particularly strong. I was quite small and still recovering from being unwell and postpartum as well. But yeah, I manage it all myself, and it's all good.
That's awesome.
It's a good weightlifting workout.
Yeah, lift heavy things. Like it definitely fits in with the primal movement model. So I used to think that when I was keeping my market boxes around, I was like, lift heavy things. Don't need to go to the gym anymore, which is really cool. So another question, I'm going to shoot this one to you as well, Rosie, because you've got 11 stockists, which is great. That's like more than twice as many that I had. Is it hard to build up your stockists and build up your customers, would you say?
It can be. It is definitely work. You have to put work into your stockists. Well, I have had to. As in, you call them, especially when you first start, you call them every couple of weeks to make sure their stock's okay and there's no problems, and if they want anything else. You generally will always have to do, or don't have to, but it is best to do in-store tastings when you can. I don't really have much time to do them anymore, but they definitely help to drive sales. So I would always do one for a new stockist. At this point, I've been doing it full, pretty full on for more than a year and a half, and I feel like I have a good base now. I feel much more confident with my stockists. Like most of them will call me now, or email me or text me to place orders, rather than me having to call them every week or 2 weeks. So that is, it doesn't sound like much, but it is, you have to keep it in your head. You have to call them all the time, and you have to be organised, and I don't really like calling people. It is, I feel like at this point I have built up my customers to a good point. And then I have people like direct customers from the markets who have my phone number and they contact me for, things as well. Awesome. So markets are very good for that. You will meet people. I love doing markets. I love to talk to the people that I'm helping, and you really do hear stories of people who have come a long way in their health, and they are really appreciative of what you're doing for them. That's awesome. That's one of my favourite things about Primal Alternative, is doing the markets.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Rosie.
Just wanted to say.
Oh yeah, go.
One more thing, just in regards to the ovens, I have only one oven, and it's a small oven, and I don't have a Thermomix. I have been using my Kenwood mixer for the whole time. The Kenwood mixer is actually really good because it fits 3 loaves of bread in it, 3 to 4 loaves of bread in it, rather than just 2. So that cuts down on mixing time quite a bit. And it also does the cookies really well, I find. Yeah. That's awesome. My experience.
That's awesome, actually, because that was another question from Anne. So Anne said, does everyone have a Thermomix? And I think that probably only about 60% of Primalistas have got a Thermomix. One is enough, definitely, if you do have a Thermomix, and you don't have to have a Thermomix. All right, so I am going to go back to Sydney to the lovely Gita, and with another question, and keep the questions a-coming, please. A question to you, Gita. Where do the ingredients come from? Do you source them yourself?
Yes, we source them ourselves. There's a lot of support when you sign up. There's a lot of support. There is recommended wholesale wholesalers where you get your ingredients from. But it's up to you. If you can get cheaper than that, it's you're welcome to do that. But there is no pressure. There is no I know other franchises. Of course, we are not a franchise. We are a license. Other franchises insist that they have to buy ingredients from their source, but you're welcome to find your own source, the cheapest way you can get, so you can have more profit.
Awesome. Thank you. And I'm going to go to, I quite like this now. I'm getting the hang of it now. Yeah. Spotlight video back on me. Yeah. So I'm saying, sorry for too many questions, but come on, it's an interview panel. Don't be sorry for questions. Keep them coming.
Not at all.
Keep them coming. So let's go to the question I was just going to ask then. I'm going to go to tags. What is the average startup cost? And that's a question that's coming from Emma.
Okay, so you have your license fee to join Primal Alternative, and maybe Helen would be better to actually give us the exact figure on that, because I'm not sure what that is now. When I joined, it was about 5,000. The startup costs are things like your ingredients, your equipment, and if you're already a little bit of a baker, you'll have your cooling trays and all that, but obviously you have to ramp up all that sort of stuff. The ingredients, I just want to expand a little bit from, was it Rosie or Gita said, we do source all our own ingredients. I saw that question come in, but we do it as a group in general. So in Victoria, we have a group of, I think there's currently 12 or 13 of us, and we buy a lot of things together. So we bulk buy, and also Australia-wide, Helen has organised a few discounts and etc. with equipment, and so we do buy a lot of, obviously we buy most things in bulk, and we buy things together, so we do save a lot of money. It's a tricky question actually, because I guess you're buying bits and pieces over time, but I'd say you want to have a couple of $1,000s at least in the bank to start. So you've got things like your food license from your council, which can vary a lot. I think mine was about $400 or $500. You've got to get ingredients, of course, which could be a few $100s to start with. You've got to get a bit of equipment. You have to get insurance. So initially it feels like you're just shelling out a whole lot of money and your bank account's kind of going down, down, down. And then, the money starts coming in, of course, when you've got your stockists and markets. And so you have to be prepared, and I'm sure Helen would talk to this as well, that most small businesses can take up to a year before they really start to see good profits. It seems, and I think most of us have, certainly me, I've never had my own business or anything before. I've been a scientist that gets grants from the government and I just spend money. So I have no idea, this has all been quite new to me, but the fact that, you have to put in time and effort, as Rosie said, and you do obviously initially have to put in some money. And really, the more you can put in as far as bulk buying goods, that really helps you. Initially, you think, I'll just buy a pack of this at the supermarket and I'll try to bake, to practice. And then you start to realise, wow, that packet of sunflower seeds I bought from Aldi are about 4 times the price of when I can buy in bulk, etc. So I'm sorry, it's kind of a roundabout answer, but I guess a couple of $1,000 at least to really get going. I don't know what Gita and Rosie think, but I'd say at least that sort of amount. You need to have some money to put the money in to start the business really rolling. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think you've answered that really well. And I think the key thing about the startup costs that I would add is that, you don't, it's not like a big chunk of cash. You can buy, like 10 tins one week and put a small ingredient order in another week. And sometimes council can be like a couple $100 then and a bit more for an inspection and that sort of thing. So it's not like a big chunk of cash. So you can kind of like spread that out. Which can be helpful too. Okay, thank you, Terri. So we're just going to do a bit of a record scratch. Did Gita just say it's not a franchise? So we're going back over to Gita for that question.
Yes, I did say it's not a franchise. When we bought it, it was, when I bought, at least till about actually, till September, 27th of September, it was a franchise. Till when Helen went global, when she went to the US and UK and I think New Zealand, she found out that the way we are running is no way like a franchise because we don't have any targets. We are not bound to buy ingredients from a certain stockist where Helen gets a cut from or anything like that. So I think Helen's reworked it's a license. So basically you pay the fee and there's a monthly fee for it. You buy it, the initial cost, and then there's a monthly fee, and it's not called a royalty anymore because it's not a franchise. So that's a big difference. Yes.
Awesome.
Did I answer that correctly, Helen?
You did. You answered very well. And I'm not going to pretend I haven't seen it, but there is a question that was asked about how much people make. And we've got a really collaborative community. So we really like to keep a kind of like linear workplace so that we don't really talk about who earns what and who's the top performer and all of that, because it's just all a bit corporate and but if you do want to find out about how much you can earn, if you go onto the Primal Alternative website and look at the Primalista frequently asked questions, or if you watch any of my info sessions, I'm really quite open and honest about, this is how much it costs to produce this product and this is what you would get if you sold it to a retailer. This is what you would get if you sold it directly. So you can work out from there. There's even like an infographic of if you made 20 of each of these products, this is how much you would make. So hope that just covers that question. So we're going to go to a question now with Rosie. And this is a question from Emma. How can I find out how many other makers there are in my area?
Well, I think Helen tells you if you have an interview with her, but you can also just look on the website at your to see who else is producing in your state. That's how you would find out how many other people are in your area. For me in Perth, I probably just wanted to add, I didn't say before, that with my stockists, there's quite a good spread of people around Perth. With the online store, so I only do online orders when they suit me, which is really good because there's other people who pretty much always pick up orders that I don't want if they're closest to me. Yes, so I think that's how you would find out about other makers. I went off a bit of track, but I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, that's great. Thank you. All right, so there's just a couple of questions here about the monthly fees, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the big reveal on what the hello darling, sorry, my family have just arrived home. It's 5:15 here in WA, and I picked today because it's gymnastics and cricket training. Hello darling, how are you? I am talking to some Primalistas. Do you want to say hello?
Hi, Millie.
See you soon. Sorry about that. In real life, working from home. So Emma's asked a question about what the monthly fee is. So the monthly fee, so that's a monthly membership, and that's $110 or $100 plus GST. Are there set RRPs on the product? So recommended retail price is a RRP or a rep, as you put there by mistake, which is quite funny. So yeah, there are recommended retail prices, but obviously we can't govern what the shops charge, so they'll charge whatever they want. So we give them a recommended retail price, but Primalistas can only sell at the two prices. So they've got a wholesale price, which is what they sell to the shops at or the cafes at, and then they've got a retail price, which is what they do their direct sales at or markets at. And we can't charge differently. And that's how, there's another question up there, how do you ensure that another Primalista doesn't try to sell to the same place? That's how we make sure that doesn't happen, because so there's no territory in terms of geographics, but there is territory in terms of stockists. So nobody would come in and say, hey, I know Rosie's selling you some fat and seedy bread, but I'll sell it to you for 10 cents less a loaf, because that's just not what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? All right. So let me, I always think that's funny. That would be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So let me just try and share this. Ugh. Hang on a minute.
Oh.
Oh, what have I done now? Hang on. Da, da, da.
Now you shared the screen.
You can see the screen? All
Yes.
right. Okay, this is the bit I'm trying to find. Okay, good. Right. So the price, where am I? Where is it? There it is. Okay, so the big reveal is, if you've been following Primal Alternative last term, so we had a really big ramp up in terms of people who were interested in Primal Alternative, thanks to Pete Evans and thanks to some really good Facebook marketing that has been happening. And it was really just a month of where the license was at $4,000 plus GST. And that sale price ended on the 27th of September. But I wanted to open that price up to people who are attending this live event, because I really appreciate that you have taken time out of your Thursday night to watch this. And I know there's people that are hanging on to watch this replay as well. So until 4 p.m. on Saturday, so it's literally 48 hours from today, if you've been following Primal Alternative for a while and you're here at watching this event, you're probably pretty almost there in terms of wanting to join. So this is a really good opportunity to, make that decision. Which side of the fence are you going to jump off? And really good chance to ask the questions to the Primalistas that are here today. So hang on. Whoops, going the wrong way. Oh, all right. So what the next step to do is, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my goodness, how cool, I've got this second chance to get that really cool price. The next step is to apply for a Primalista license. So when you go to primalalternative.com/apply, you'll get a really simple application form. Most of the questions are yes, no, tick boxes. You can add more details if you want. You don't have to. And your application will be approved. Look at Tegs having a red wine. Cheers. I'm still on water. I'm having an ASD today. We're having a red wine tomorrow, though. You betcha. So the next step, if you're keen, you want to get your hands on that sale price, it seriously is, it's not open to anybody else. It's just to people who are coming to this event. So primalalternative.com/apply. All right. I'm going to stop the share again. And, it's all gone different now. Questions. Oh, wonderful questions. All right. Here's one for you. Who haven't we heard from for a while? Gita. I'm going to go to Gita. If you go away on holidays or do not bake for a month or more, do you still have to pay the monthly fee? Shall I answer that?
I'm not sure because of the new. I think there is. I'll leave it up to you, Helen, because I'm not 100% sure on this one. Because of the new arrangement with the new license, is it different?
So if you go on holiday, you still have to pay. It's just to keep your everything active.
Yes.
There is an opportunity if something happens and you're out of the game, say if you have a baby or something else happens and you're out of the game for a few months, there is an opportunity to freeze the membership now for 3 months. But other than that, and Emma's saying, what's the fee normally? The license fee is normally $5,000 plus GST. So it's a really cool time to jump in. It's like never been that price. Like Tex is saying, she paid $5,000 when she started. It's a really good price to jump in at. So do we have any other questions? So what's going to happen now is I'm going to go, because people might be thinking, I want to ask that question, but not while she's here. So I'm going to go and leave you guys to it. You can have your hands on real life Primalistas for real life. I will be leaving. You can ask them any questions you want. Like, don't be shy. So ask away. So Anne's got one. What's the payment plan? The payment plan currently for people who want to jump on board before Saturday at 4:00 is $440 a month for 12 months. So you pay more, obviously, on the payment plan because there is... you pay more on the payment plan because there's a gateway fees and interest and all that stuff that I get charged from for payment plans. So Emma said, I just saw your Facebook advert, so might need to have a phone call with someone next week. Cool. Well, I know the Primalistas here are open for chats now if you want to. I've also got space in my diary tomorrow if you want to book an interview and have a chat with me. I've got pretty much a clean slate tomorrow. Sally says, I have an appointment with you on Tuesday so hubby can participate. Can I still be considered for the discount rate? No, I'm so sorry, because I just have to keep it. It's got to be like a 48-hour boom thing. I don't know if you can move your appointment to tomorrow. I know I've got some spots available then. So I'm going to go. I don't know how I do it, how I go. I suppose I just leave. If I put you all, can you all see each other?
Not say, but they have to unmute, unsay themselves. So they have to say.
Unmute you all. How about if I do that? And the little black windows come to life. Hello,
Helen,
Anne.
I'm pretty sure, Helen, if you leave, the meeting's closed. I think you have to transfer your host.
Because you're the host, yeah.
Yeah, no, I won't leave. I'll just like leave.
Just sit quietly in the corner.
So
physically,
I'll just like remove myself from the room. And you know, I know Primalistas have got, you know, toddlers and wine to drink. So, you know, whenever you want to leave, you can just say you have to go. I'm going to go and cook dinner now. So I'm just getting everybody's video started. People who don't want to participate in having a chat, you don't have to. Okay. So if you, there's a pussycat. Oh,
It's at dinner time. Yeah?
What's your pussycat called, Anne?
Maddie.
Oh,
There you go.
We've got lots of Primalista cats, which I love.
Oh, we can see everyone now. That's
Yep.
nice. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
hi.
All right, I'm going to
Excellent.
go. So talk amongst yourselves, and remember the next step is to apply for a Primalista license. And if you've got any questions, I'm around tomorrow if you want to have an interview with me, and the Primalistas are also around for chats. I'm just trying to unmute you, Sal. You won't unmute. Okay. Right, everybody's unmuted. I'll come back in a few hours. No, I'll come back soon. Bye. Oh,
Sorry,
so
I
much
just
for
muted
coming.
while I put my thermi on.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's a good idea. All right. I'll see you
good.
soon. Talk amongst yourselves.
I might just...
Bye. That's me going.
Just wondering how long, I suppose everyone's different, but it's a bit of a scary thing to jump into. So how long did people think about it or ponder about it?
I think I personally, this is Gita, I personally didn't take long at all because it just clicked. Because I had been thinking about something in these lines, and I'd never done business before. I had never worked in the food industry before. But when I saw it, when I spoke to Helen, it just spoke to me. I said, this is it for me. And I didn't take long at all. I think after the first phone call interview, I just made up my mind and I signed up. But I know there have been a few Primalistas who've signed up after a year, or 2 years, because they've spoken to Helen, gone away, thought about it. And you're right, it's everyone's personal circumstances, whether you have a job, whether this will be your main income, or this will be your secondary income, or do you like baking? And for me personally, I love baking. I love baking and helping the community to go grain-free, and that was my motivation. So yeah, it depends on your circumstances too. What about you, Rosie?
I'm essentially the same as Gita. I knew pretty much straight away and signed up pretty much as soon as I'd spoken to Helen and listened to a demo. I didn't have to ponder about it too much. I was in a situation where I really needed to start making some money, and so yeah, I really didn't want to go back to my old job, so that was a driver for me.
Terri?
Yeah, I was actually the same, and probably for me it was the money. Helen had I just suddenly found out about it, and I didn't know about Primal Alternative beforehand, and the price was about to go up. I got it for $5,000, and then the GST was going to kick in, so there wasn't GST before then. So I kind of thought about it, and I think because I knew the money, there was a deadline for me. I'm very big on deadlines, and I sort of thought, right, I'm going to do it. And I think, look, the other thing for me is I agree with you. It seems very overwhelming. You think, oh my God, this is such a big undertaking, and all that. But I think because the money, it's not an enormous amount of money. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're buying a business that's already there that might be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Like, as I said, I was looking at coffee carts, and a lot of those businesses were quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
So for me, it was kind of like, well, it's $5,000. Okay, yes, it is a lot of money up front, but it won't take me too long to at least cover that amount of money, see if I like it, and then, stay around it and keep going. So personally for me, I didn't feel that the amount of money was an enormous risk. Yeah. And then when I got into it, and then there was more and more people on board, we all help each other. Helen is very, fantastic to work with. And it's not been as hard as I thought it would be. It really is very collaborative, and which is really nice. We have dinners together, we catch up at events, and it's really lovely. I mean, it is about making money, and it is a business, and you've got to work hard. But I personally didn't think it was an enormous amount of money to start up, and that really attracted me to it as well.
My worry is, sorry to butt in, but I did Thermomix for probably 8 months on maternity leave, and I gave it a red hot go. Like, I didn't sit back. I really invested a lot of money and a lot of time into it, and I didn't make much in return, and I felt really restricted in what I could do in terms of promoting my own business. So that's my one concern. And I remember when I started Thermomix, my sister said, have you heard about Primal Alternative? This sounds really interesting. It's this new startup. And I was like, I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I kind of want to.
Maybe you should have chosen that.
I was working for the publishing company that promoted Peter Evans. We did all his books. So,
oh, wow.
And I've been keto for years. So it really appealed to me back then, but I just thought it was a bit of a startup and it was a bit of an unknown, so I didn't want to jump in then. Yeah. But I just felt like I was handcuffed with Thermomix, where I couldn't promote myself in my own area. I couldn't advertise myself. I couldn't go to markets and advertise myself as a business by myself, and that's what I'm really wanting to know. If I don't know, where are you, Terri, in Melbourne? Because you said you're in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah. So I'm in Caulfield
Okay,
South.
I'm in Ringwood.
And, yeah.
So I know there's someone doing a Lilydale
perfect.
market with Primal Alternative, but I don't want to be going and treading on someone's territory, and I want to be able to have enough sort of customer base for my own business if I was to do this.
So that's a good thing. Sorry, Gita. I'll suppose I'll talk about it from a Melbourne point of view at least. And look, the geography really worried me at the start because I thought, like I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, oh, you know, there's no boundaries and somebody will come in and, you know, tread on my toes. I don't think it was mentioned before. We actually have a potential stockists spreadsheet. So what we do is we put down, right, I would like to go to Ringwood Market, say, for example. I'm going to approach them. I put my name down. I let everyone know I've, you know, contacted them. I've put in my, you know, brochures and whatever. Then no one else is allowed to touch that stockist. Yeah, and we all know, okay, we're not approaching it. It then sits there on the spreadsheet. It might die away and it might be revisited later. Or someone might say, look, I know you had no, you didn't have a chance with that stockist. Do you mind if I give it a go? You know, and that can happen. So it's actually, you know, and in Melbourne, really, the sky is the limit. I hardly have any stockists. I just do the markets. But honestly, you think of the cafes and health food stores around us, it's enormous. And we all, see, I'm keto, I'm low carb, and that's my interest. But then there are other people that are paleo or vegan or whatever. And so and look, we all have our own Facebook pages. We have Primal Alternative by Terri and whatever. You can promote whatever you want. And we have a number of Thermomix reps actually amongst us. And they all talk about Thermomix and how restrictive it is. And I don't think this is anything like that from what I know. Yeah.
I just sort of, and especially if you're charging a license fee, you have to be able to, there's got to be a degree of ownership for the person who's buying that license, I guess, as well. Whereas Thermomix, you're just buying a machine and it's sort of,
No, you are buying your own business. It's very much your own business, and you promote what you want to do, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
You know, I can control, like Rosie's got 11 stockists, you know, and she bakes all week.
Yeah.
I've got a few markets, I bake a couple of days. Gita's got, you know. So that's what I like about it. It's not Helen saying, right, get out there and you've got to do X. Yeah.
Sorry, someone else might have a question, but I do have another one if you want to take it now. My question is, because I do farmers markets for a little eco business that I do already.
Fantastic.
And, can you combine do you have to have just only Primal Alternative marketing on your store? Or can you mix it with something else?
Well, as far as I know, you can combine. Like Helen has never said not to. Sometimes I sell things at my markets that aren't Primal Alternative.
Yeah.
It's not like a side business. It's just like, you know, if I want to do muffins or something, then I do. I think Terri does as well, and that's been fine.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
As long as you don't say that they are Primal Alternative. So if you're you keep them separate.
Yeah.
So I sell Terri's low carb treats. I put a sign and I sell a few muffins or whatever. So I don't think there's a problem with that. You'd have to be careful with the market. The market may want you to be one thing. So that would be the only thing you'd have to check. You know, if you're selling gizmos and you're also selling bread, you'd have to clear it with the market.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you do you have to stick to the recipes to the letter?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's part of the license agreement.
That's right. To the gram.
And we have a nutritional panel on every bit of food, and so the reason you stick to the recipe is that when somebody buys my fat and seedy bread, they need to know what's in it for allergies, and they need to know there's 1 gram of carbs per slice. And
so the insurance that you pay, what does that cover? Does that cover someone getting sick and suing you? Or?
Yes. Yeah, no, it does. I think it's like $11 million. So if somebody trips over your market stall or you poison someone or whatever, it's
But sorry, Terri, because Terri, you have a market stall, but if the insurance you're talking about, are you talking about from a home kitchen? Like if you weren't doing markets?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's called the liability. Liability insurance. So,
So that will cover you for anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
Do they ever do quality control? Like anyone from Primalista come in and check that your baking is up to scratch? Or
No, not really. I mean, the only time would be when we do an event. Like every year we have a big event in Melbourne, so we all come in from around Australia, and that's a way to look at each other's things, and it's actually quite good when it's not a quality control, but it's, oh gee, Gita, your loaves look really big and fluffy, please tell me about, or gee, your cookies are a bit small, or they're not, just very minor things. But really, no. If you're following the recipe, we all compare. We have photos on our Facebook site, and we all compare how things look and how we do things. We help each other constantly, which is really good.
I mean, it is in the license agreement that we have to follow the recipes, but it is recognised that everyone's ovens are different, and you might roll cookies differently, and different temperatures can affect different things. So it's recognised that products aren't going to be identical, but that's all part of it being homemade. They're handmade products. People like it, basically, mostly. Yeah. I've never really had a negative experience.
I haven't tried everything, but is there a starter pack that you get everything in it, so that I can try it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can contact your closest Primalista to do one for you, one of everything.
Yep. Whereabouts are you in WA?
Me? I'm in Yokine. Are you in WA?
Queen's Rocks.
Okay. Yeah. So do you know where the other Primalistas are?
No.
Around Perth? Okay. Well, there is the one in Heathridge. I think that's the closest to you.
I think there might be one in Kinross, but I'm not really sure.
Heathridge, it would be the closest, I think.
Is it? Okay.
That's probably only 700 kilometres in Perth distance. From what I've heard.
No, it's just around the corner.
It's easy to look up. For the rest of you, it is very easy to look up where we all are. So you just search stockists or Primalistas, and it shows you on the map where we all are. But yeah.
Is anyone from Sydney?
No.
Because we have very few in Sydney.
Why?
In New South Wales.
It should be the capital.
Yeah, no. It's just, I think people want the ready food. They don't want to bake.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a question. Can you sell can you do mail order or not?
Yes. You can.
Yep. That's the online store is actually mail order.
So if I was to promote to someone in Queensland or Sydney,
you can. You can have your own system of mailing out your orders.
Okay.
Yeah. But you probably wouldn't send to interstate. I would consider that's treading on other people's toes, personally. Yeah. I mean, if you were sending it somewhere there's no Primalista, the thing you need to think about is it's fresh food, and sending it by mail is tricky.
It could take a long time.
We have packets. We have packet mixers, so they're fantastic. You could send them anywhere. Yeah. But even sending within Victoria, you have to be very careful about how you send it and how far. So, yeah. But you can definitely have your own online sort of thing. Yeah.
And can you advertise that yourself online?
Yes.
If you know what I mean. Like I would be free to, I don't know, run a Facebook ad promotion for my business.
Absolutely.
You can.
Okay.
Yes.
Whereas with Instagram, there was no way I was able to do that. If you know what I mean.
I come home from the market. I might have a few loaves of bread left. I'll go onto my own Facebook by Terri page. I'll put, okay, guys, I've got these left.
I will sell them at wholesale, for example, if I'm wanting to clear them, no
Yeah.
problem. I'll also go into Facebook Marketplace. I'll go, hi, gang, I've got a couple of keto loaves left. Who's interested? And so I
Yeah.
get people far and wide contact me, and
Yeah.
then I leave the ad there, and then they start ordering from me.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have any more of that bread left? No, I don't, but I can bake fresh for you tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's good. That was my one concern, was that I'd be so restricted in doing anything. I'm not a go-getter, but I like to be able to do what just seems natural when you're trying to promote your business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that it's your business, so you do with it what you want. That's a big advantage. You're the boss, really.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi. Just thinking about that you guys have been doing it now for at least a year. Is there anything that you would do differently when you first started off, knowing what you know now? Because, when you start, you just hardly know anything.
Good question.
I wouldn't change anything. And there's so much support. Like, I was number 13 when I signed up, and now we are 120, I think, around 120. But the Facebook page is where everything happens, and everyone just jumps in. First of all, there is a startup getting started on the website for us in our group, on the website in our area. All the information is given, what you need, but there's still questions and, specific to your area, the council questions, but everyone is there to jump in and help out. So, yeah, I personally wouldn't do anything differently.
Yeah, I've already posed a question on the Facebook page, and that was really great to hear all the responses. And I've met my other local Primalista, which is fantastic.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Where are you, Carolyn?
On the Gold Coast.
Oh, great. Yeah, we need more Queenslanders.
I
Absolutely.
know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think we need more Primalistas, period,
Yeah, but Queensland is screaming out for them. But, yeah.
I'm a Queenslander.
In terms
hi, Sally.
I'm in Cairns.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, there's nobody up here. I've already checked.
No.
Actually, I think there's one girl who I met her at a quirky cooking evening, and she's just relocated from Melbourne up here.
Yes,
But
Megan.
Tammy, isn't it?
Isn't it Megan from Melbourne?
I want to say maybe Lisa.
Okay, all right.
It's an L word, I thought.
Too many of
when
them.
I was talking to her, she hadn't relocated her business as such. She hadn't gone through that.
I thought it was
process
Tammy
yet.
Rose or someone.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Maybe that's her. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, Cairns is a big place. There can be two of us. That's cool.
Yeah. And look, go on.
Sorry, while I'm talking, because I just thought I'd chip in a bit. I am considering homeschooling my girls and giving up work, so hence looking for a source of income. I've got two gorgeous children that I'm just putting into bed, both special needs. Am I biting off more than I can chew?
I would say that having kids is a big factor to think about. Like, where are they going to be when you're baking? What are they going to be doing? How are you going to manage baking and what they're doing at the same time? But at the same token, like, you do have control over how much you bake. You have control over how many stockists you take on. You can take on, 2 stockists, or a market. You can make it work for you. Of course, if you do less, you're going to earn less. But yeah. So I guess it depends on how much you want to earn and how much time you'll have where they're going to be otherwise entertained. Because sometimes. I do put my toddler in front of the television for an hour while I do stuff, and I, feel terrible about it.
My kids are dancers, so I just have to put some music on and they'll walk the day away. And
that's good.
They're also nearly 9 and 11, so a little bit older and a bit.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
there are a number of Primalistas that have children, so. Not saying it's easy, but you need a time that you could set aside if you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think any kids, it's hard.
Yeah.
Are there set meetings every month, or
Everything's sort of optional. If there's a meeting or a Facebook Live, you can go if it suits you or if you have a specific question to ask. But we do have like a quarterly call, but again, you don't have to go. It just, if it suits you to go, you can go. And then there's usually a replay, or there is always a replay of that. So you can always watch it later.
Okay. And if someone's doing badly,
there's not.
What happens? Do you get a tap on the shoulder?
No.
If what, sorry?
If someone's doing badly, do you get a tap on the shoulder?
No, because it's your own business. So if you're doing badly, if you're doing badly in terms of your sales, like that's, that's really only going to affect you. But if you're doing something that's wrong, like if you're, if you haven't, for example, somebody, if you haven't had your labels printed properly and, we have to have your labels printed properly, otherwise you're going against the license, then yes, you'll get a warning or some kind of talking to with Helen. So you have to, otherwise if it's just yourself performing badly or you're not promoting your business properly, then it's really only going to affect you badly. Okay. Because it's your own business, so you have to make it work if you want it to work.
Sorry, I hadn't even thought about joining this conversation. The ad popped up and I went, oh, that's what my sister told me about a year ago. And I jumped on. So I'm trying to catch up.
I've been following Helen's Facebooks and emails and things, and she's emailed me the whole, story, drip feed email, 1 email a week, or whatever it was. I've kind of been looking and watching for about 6 weeks now, and I'm thinking it's time that I either make my mind up and run away or stay on for the long haul. I'm not sure yet.
Has Terri disappeared?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terri dropped off.
Hi, Terri.
Bye, Terri.
On that note too, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to feed my family. And thanks for the information. Very worthwhile, very interesting, and I'm going to keep pondering and thinking for a day or two.
I think if you need more, just book in an interview with Helen. She says she's cleared her calendar.
I've booked.
She has cleared her calendar tomorrow, so if anyone wants more information.
Yeah, cool. Too easy.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for your time. Ta-da.
All right.
Thank you.
I might jump off too because it seems like it's kind of ending now.
I think it's time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks heaps.
Bye.
See you again.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Gita, did Helen say she's coming back?
Yeah, she should, but I don't know how she'll know to come back.
She won't know to come back.
I'll send her a message.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
How often do your stockists order? Do you still just have one stockist?
Yeah. But once a week.
Once a week?
Every week, but it's not, it's like 6 of everything, Yeah. And she just has the keto range and the choc chip cookies.
Yeah.
So sometimes she'll order 8 the cookies, but other than that.
Yeah. Okay. See, most of my stockists only order sort of monthly. I've got a couple that order, I've got 2 that order weekly, 1 that orders fortnightly, and all the rest only order sort of monthly or less than monthly. So it sounds like I have a lot of stockists, and I do have a lot of stockists, but I think because there is actually quite a few people around Perth, it really does affect. It really does seem to make a difference as to how much is ordered, how frequently they're ordered as well.
You got 11, did you say? So it works out to about 3 or 4 a month. You would get a week.
Usually 4 or 5 a week. I think the next week I've got 4 or 5.
Okay. But then the orders would be bigger, isn't it?
No, they're probably like, for example, I've got 2 cafes. One of them orders like 5 loaves a month, so like barely anything, and the other one orders like 10 loaves every few weeks. Yeah, and so they're the cafes. And the health food shops, they're sort of well, for example, one of my health food shops ordered just today. They've ordered 20 loaves, and they only order once a month. They ordered 20 loaves and some packet mixes, and that'll last them for a month.
Yeah. And do the cafes order to sell as loaves, or do they use it in their cafes too?
I know they use it on their menu.
On their menu, okay, yeah. So where my shop is a cafe come store, like she's got a store.
Yeah.
Within the cafe, so
yes.
But she doesn't use it in the cafe. She just sells it.
Sells it, yeah.
Yeah. Terri, you dropped off.
Yeah, you disappeared. Oh, she's gone.
I think she's muted.
Yeah. I think I got a message saying your internet connection was bad, Terri.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So Helen hasn't replied or seen my message.
Well, I guess we can go.
Yeah. And Helen will contact us, you think? Okay. Because we can't unmute her, isn't it? I'll send to Terri.
Hello, can you hear me?
Ah, yeah, now we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, Helen, it's just us left.
I think Anne is still here.
Oh, there's Helen.
Hi. Thanks, everyone.
Hello.
Only just left, though.
You guys have been so awesome. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I think we're done. Are we done?
Yeah.
We're done. Yes, we're done.
Good, because my battery's about to run out on my laptop, so that's worked out just perfect.
My phone ran out.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
And my dinner's ready too. So thank you so much. Go on and finish that rest of that bottle of red, and I will.
How was the cave diving?
Hey,
yeah.
Good timing.
Okay.
Terri, how was the cave diving?
Oh, it was pretty amazing. Yeah,
That's good.
It was a bit scary. It was very, very primal.
Yeah.
But, we got through, and no, it was good. You know,
that's good.
Jeff and I have been somewhere on Earth that no one else has been. That's
amazing,
incredible.
I know that.
Yeah, I don't
that's
know.
Good.
It's scary, but it was good to get out.
How long are you there for?
It was about 2 hours. Yeah, so I'm pretty buggered now.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah,
that's good.
So good. I'm teaching tomorrow, so that'll be good.
Sorry, Helen, there was a question. Someone wants to know if there's a replay because they got on late.
Yeah, I'm going to, as soon as we stop recording this, I'm going to send out the replay. So,
okay.
There we go.
And Helen, can we, I guess if this is still being recorded, I just wanted to say to the people that watch that if they want to chat to us, is it okay if they contact us directly?
Absolutely. Like, are you all three of you happy to take phone calls? Or I know Rosie's not a big phone call fan like me.
No, that's okay. I'm happy to take phone calls.
Yeah, I'm happy to take too. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can find Terri, Gita and Rosie's phone numbers on the Primalista page, which is primalalternative.com/Primalistas. And you can get their phone numbers on there. So if you want to give them a call, give them a call. You know, and if you're not ready to make a decision before Saturday at 4:00, it's not the end of the world. We're not going anywhere. You know, so take your time. There's no pressure. Make the right decision and speak to who you need to speak to. But yeah, so we'll call it a wrap. Thank you so much, Primalistas.
Thank you
for your time, and thanks
good to see you all.
Yes,
see you all. Nice to meet you, Terri and Gita.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.